Thank you to McDonald's McCrispy Snack Wrap for fueling our trip to the College Football Hall of Fame to cover SEC Media Days, Day 2 in the books here in Atlanta. I'm Erik G. for 92.1 The Ticket and 92.1 The Ticket app. Well, the big takeaway from today's sessions is the fact that Steve Sarkisian acknowledges that Arkansas and Texas are at least historic rivals, because in his press conference today, which was in what they call the big room here at the College Football Hall of Fame, he mentioned the tough schedule that Texas has, and he said, along with traditional rivals, Oklahoma, A&M, and Arkansas. So I asked him, since you mentioned Arkansas with the traditional rivals, how do you see that? How do your players see that? What does the Texas fan base think of the Arkansas rivalry as compared to any of the other rivalries that Texas deals with, specifically the A&M and the Oklahoma rivalry? He said he learned real quick back in 2021 when, as he put it, Arkansas kicked our ass 40-21. He learned real quick that it was a rivalry. Now, the good thing for Arkansas going into this year with Texas is that game, the Arkansas-Texas game on November 22nd, is sandwiched in between UT's matchup with Georgia and Texas A&M. And because it's a rivalry game, it's hard to think Texas would overlook Arkansas, but when you're sandwiched in between those two, there's a very good chance that Arkansas, or actually Texas, could be sleeping on Arkansas. Of course, the Hogs have to play LSU prior to that, and how the game turns out depends a lot on how Arkansas is going to play that day. But if you're looking for a little silver lining in that cloud, just know that Arkansas is catching them right after Georgia, and Texas should be emotionally and physically drained before they play the Razorbacks. Speaking of scheduling, I don't really like to play into the narrative that the SEC hates Arkansas, but it really is hard not to buy that when you look at Tennessee's schedule and see that they play UAB and Mississippi State prior to playing Arkansas. And who do the Razorbacks play before that? Oh, yeah, it's Notre Dame. And then Arkansas's schedule from Notre Dame on just gets to be the toughest in college football. So no favors to Arkansas, and it is apparent somebody would like to see Tennessee make the playoffs again. I don't know, people who make the schedule, they actually graduate from Tennessee? Are they all from Knoxville? I don't know what the deal is with that, but I don't like it. Finally today, had a chance to talk with Paul Finebaum. You can catch that interview on 921theticket.com and the 92.1 The Ticket app, and you can also hear it tomorrow here on 92.1 The Ticket as we will play it at 7:20. You're not going to want to miss it. I did ask him about Arkansas, where he thinks Arkansas as a program should be, and he was very adamant about the fact that he thought Arkansas should be not just competing and not just trying to be 8-4, 7-5, but because of their past, Arkansas is a program that should be playing for championships. And I could ask him and talk Arkansas football with him all day long, but if you really want to see Paul Finebaum shine, if you really want to see him get a glint in his eye, ask him about his listeners, which is exactly what I did. And I found out today that Paul Finebaum gave the eulogy at Tammy's funeral. If you don't know who Tammy is, she was a longtime caller into Paul's show, huge Auburn fan. She died in a horrific car crash, her and her 3-year-old granddaughter. And Paul had the opportunity to give the eulogy, and I found out that they actually knew each other pretty well. And not because they ran in the same circles, but because he took the time to get to know her. He also takes the time to get to know his other listeners. It is a true family on that show. And as impressed as I've always been with Paul Finebaum, I was even more impressed with him today once he said that. So you're not going to want to miss that interview. Catch it tomorrow here on 92.1 The Ticket and the 92.1 The Ticket app at 7:20, or just go to 921theticket.com and you can listen to it on demand. For 92.1 The Ticket, I'm Erik G. Thanks to McDonald's again. The McDonald's McCrispy Snack Wrap fuels our trip here to SEC Media Days. For 92.1 The Ticket, have a great day.